All right. Am I really live this time? Only reason I'm saying that is because I spent the last 30 minutes rambling to myself, thinking that I was live, only to learn that I hadn't turned on the channels to send the live stream to. So for the last 30 minutes, I was just having a full blown, a one sided conversation with myself, thinking that that I was live, and I was going, why has anybody really come? What is there anybody else going on? So I checked YouTube. I don't see anybody's live stream, and I go, has it really been that long that since I've gone live that YouTube all of a sudden just kind of quit sending notifications to people about my channel? What's up, Nick? Thanks for being here. Yeah, I know. I don't know if it's a part of getting older or I just, well, you know what it was? It was like a spur of the moment. This live stream was not planned. I just happened to be off today from work and was trying to find, well, I have plenty of stuff to do, but I've been putting it off and I hadn't really you know uh, done that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go live. Let me see. Thank you guys for coming in. I'm really sorry. Nick, thanks for coming in. Joel's Uncle Smiley, thanks for being here. KJ, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate that. Sam, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Craig, hey, Craig, I'm gonna talk about you, Craig. I'm gonna talk about you. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna talk a little bit about where I've been and what I've been doing, kind of bring you guys up to speed as to what's been going on. Um, and Craig is will know what I'm talking about because I see him on the dark side, if you want to call it that. And then we have Don, Prodigal Aquarius. Thank you for being here. Cheryl, uh, CR Fish. Thanks for coming in. Lance, Sleeper Barbecue. Thanks for being here. Christian, thank you for coming in. Let's see, who else am I missing? Stan the Man. Thanks for coming in, my friend. MNC, you changed your logo again, huh? Is that what it was? Oh, where'd he go? Yeah, MNC Aquatics. That must be a different account because I don't recognize it. I recognize the name, not the account. All right. So, yeah, only stream there now. Yeah, exactly. Well, okay. I'm going to a quick update as to what's been going on. I know I told you guys during before Garrett's or third generation's live stream. We had a passing in the family. My mother-in-law had passed away, so obviously that's kind of trying to be there for my wife is kind of taking priority. So that had initially made me step away a little bit because I know that she's, even though she won't necessarily outward show that she's grieving, she grieves in a really interesting way, and that is her being extremely busy. So as a consequence of that is there's a lot of honeydew projects, and so of course I'm going to do it just because I know that's part of her process. I saw her go through it when her brother passed, and I so this time around I knew exactly what I needed to do. So that kind of started me where I kind of stepped back and I haven't really done much. Interestingly enough, though, I guess I must have been a little bit fatigued from doing live streaming and stuff like that because all of a sudden I kind of, it wasn't very hard for me to lose interest in doing the live streams for some reason. I don't know if it was just like I needed a mental break. And I'm not saying that it was like mentally distressful, but maybe I just needed to take a step back. And typically the summertime is when I do it, but this year um I sort of did it, but not really. I think I was a lot more active this summer than I've been in previous summers. So I think it was just uh, you know, a culmination of things catching up, and it's just my way of kind of hitting the reset button so I don't burn out. Oh, thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate that. Kimco, hey, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate that. See anybody else that I might have missed? No, I was telling. Well, Nick came in when I was ranting about this, but for those of you that are coming in, I've been live for the last 30 minutes. I don't care what this says. I started around 2:30, went through this whole thing trying to explain to you guys what was going on. come to find out, I did hit the live button, but I didn't activate the source that it was supposed to send it to. So it was just me going on. I'm going, wow, that's really weird. Nobody's coming to the live stream, but yet I was looking, and and I was like, but there isn't anybody else that's live streaming. So I wonder, and I was like, this is weird. So I decided to open up my phone, and I was like, I don't even see myself in the live stream. And then come to find out, I didn't do it right. And that was because typically I'll come in and do the whole scheduling and all that stuff. But today I thought I could do it like in StreamYard, where you just hit go and you go live. This was a little bit different. This is a little bit different. This is you actually have to manually select which platform you want to stream to, and I didn't do it. So that was a learning lesson, but it took me about 30 minutes of me just going on and on and on. I'm going, God, this is weird. I'm just talking to myself. I don't see anybody chatting in the comments, in the chats. So finally, I can't believe it took me 30 minutes to figure out that something was wrong. But it goes to show you that I'm not the brightest person out there. I saw, Mike, that you're also going to be taking a break. I hope it's just for not by choice. Oh, okay. I guess we can talk offline. But whatever it is, I hope to see you back soon. But anyways, going back to where I've been, what I've been doing. I got a dinosaur yesterday. Okay. All right. So here's what's happened. Obviously, I kind of brought you up to speed as to what's been going on in our personal life. Hey, Ryan, thanks for coming in. And in the process of doing that, I've kind of started messing around with TikTok. I've had an account at TikTok for the longest time. And but lately, like the last 3 weeks, I've been taking a dive into it a little bit more on the count of everyone. On the count of 3, everyone leave the live. Your sucker's going off. Hold on. And I started looking into it and stuff like that. For those of you that have known me in quite some time, initially when my channel started, I was trying to do the whole bilingual thing, where I would do. The idea was I would do a video in English and then do the same video in Spanish, and I did a few of those. But here's where the I guess the rub was. I was finding out that the algorithm was getting very confused, and my channel was not growing. But I was getting more views and stuff on my English content. So little by little, I've kind of let it slide and kind of went away from doing that. But I've always wanted to do the stuff in Spanish. Well, one of the other things that I've found it very difficult this year is I can't seem to find the Spanish audience here on YouTube. Maybe it's because I haven't looked in the right places yet. But when I went to TikTok, that shit is global. I mean, you have people from every corner of the world 24/7. And I know that's the same thing here on TikTok, on YouTube. But I just never found that group. Where on the other platform, it's like right there. And it doesn't matter. I mean, it's really interesting because I almost immediately when I started posting stuff, I've always used TikTok as a way to, same way I use Instagram. I just kind of would post little shorts or pictures with music and stuff like that. Never really anything as far as information. And I noticed that a lot of the response that I got were from Spanish speaking countries, especially Mexico. I mean, it was like nonstop. A lot of people, our tequila fish would probably be confused. what's that? I made 500. Yeah, I know Craig has been killing it in TikTok. I think he definitely found his people. And I am so happy because it was he was streaming every day on YouTube and just couldn't catch fire. And I've seen him I've seen him recently, like in the last couple of weeks on you on TikTok, and there's always people there. He's got other people up there with him. They're having a blast, and I love seeing it because I love seeing Craig interact and finally get his just desserts. That's the reality of it because he's been working so hard at this, and his fish room is so awesome. But I've he's caught fire, which I'm not surprised, and I'm really happy to see him having that success that he really does deserve. And like he's saying right there, I guess he made a killing. I'm still trying to figure out the live streams. I've only done one on my own channel, or I guess that's what you call it. I don't know what do they call them in TikTok, Craig? Is it a channel, or I don't know what it is. Is it worth doing TikTok to drive traffic? Not no. They're you're not gonna drive the same people over. It's just a different community. It's a whole you think the YouTube the fish community is big on YouTube, it's way bigger in TikTok, but it's very different. There's a whole bunch of different groups. It's kind of like you see here, you have like hangout rooms. I see there's a guy named Delirious. This guy streams every night, all night long. And they've always got people coming in. And, some of it is fish conversation. Some of it is just kind of them talking about everyday life stuff. If that's the kind of stuff you like, you can find that there. There's other people that are strictly talking topics. They'll take on a topic and they'll break it down. It's very very normal to see people doing maintenance in their own tanks and having a live stream and interacting and answering questions, which that's kind of like perfect for Craig. That lines up. He gets so many questions asked from people that are really interested in what's going on and stuff like that. He's my good mate. I love Delirious. Yes, but he goes on all night, every night. I don't know how that man does it. Well, he's a young guy. That's probably that's number one. He's really young. But like for example, last night I was hanging out with Nick from In My Tanks, another young man that's an aquascaper called Bama, and Bin. And we were just talking it up. It's H2O Delirious, and I don't know if it's H2O. I think it's just Delirious. And but but he has there's a group of friends that they always come together. Well, I think one of them's like from Tennessee. They're from all over the country, and they're on every night, all night long. So if you're ever trying to find something to watch, and you can't find anything on this platform, you can always go and just kind of wander over there. It is the Wild West, though, the Wild West, because there's all kinds of stuff out there. No, just hilarious. What tank has been up the longest? The longest tank that I haven't messed around with, it's got to be the tank with the 55 with my mud guppies. That is my very second tank that I ever set up, and that one has changed the livestock and maybe even some of the scape in there, but I've never broken that one down. My very original tank was a 20-gallon high that I recently broke down when I was downsizing. But that by far is the oldest tank that I have. And then from that it would be probably the 75 and the other 55. So those are probably the three original OGs. Mm. Well, anyways, so I started doing some of the stuff over there, and I've started getting a really huge response from a lot of the Spanish speaking community. So kind of what I've been doing is I've been doing my most of my Spanish content. I've kind of diverted over to TikTok, and I've been doing a lot of live streams with with other people, and as a guest, and that's been really fun. Almost to the point where it's kind of reinvigorated me again. Um, Hence why that last post that I did on my channel, even though it's a vertical, the reason it's vertical because that original video went up on TikTok, which I'm finding out you can do long form videos now. It used to be for the longest time you had to keep them under a minute or something like that, but now they're kind of allowing you to do longer format videos. I don't know how long you can go because I haven't tried that. I see a lot of people that vanish from YouTube. There maybe page exact. Okay, yeah, I know a lot of people have transitioned over there. It's a little bit different. I'm not even over there for the monetization, to be honest. I'm just over there because I'm able to do another side for a while and not my thing. Yeah, it is it is different. I'm not gonna lie. It is very different. Hey Chuck, thanks for coming in, Ben. Sorry I missed you, Ben. Let's see who else is kind of snuck in here. Did I miss anybody? No, I think I. Oh, Jesse. Hey, what's up, my? What's up? Just one more fish. Uh, Thanks for coming in. Hopefully, I didn't miss anybody else because I kind of went on a tangent there and was not paying attention. Um, so I've kind of been down there and I've been having fun because I've been interacting with the guys from the majority are from Mexico City, and stuff like that. And I've been a guest on a couple of live streams, and it's been really fun. I mean, I've had a blast. Um, just because it's very different. It's very different. I was telling Nick and the other two gentlemen last night. I think this must be like more of a cultural thing. Hey, New Loco Austin, what's up, Mike? Thanks for coming in. Where in this, I'm not going to say Latin culture because I don't know that's the case with all the other cultures, but in Mexico, there's a lot of bantering that goes back and forth, and a lot of I guess I'm just gonna have to say it, like shit talking, you know, and that is just culturally kind of ingrained in us, and so it's a lot. We're talking about certain topics, but it's just a lot of that stuff. It's very different. But it's more socially accepted, I guess, or more something that they're accustomed to. Hey, what's up, Steve? So that's been a little bit different. Hey, JP, that's been a little bit different. That's kind of what I've been doing. Again, the last I've been doing some content. I did a video because I get a lot of questions asked um in TikTok. What do I use for lighting to be able to grow plants? Because one of the there's some interesting dynamics, and I've seen it here too on in YouTube and in our community, especially when you're dealing with Planet Tanks, where a lot of people are really quick to try to suggest name brands and expensive lighting and equipment and all that stuff to grow plants. That's just that's part of aquascaping or plant growing or whatever. So when I post a lot of my videos of this stuff, the first question is, are you running CO2? Or which kind of light are you running? What kind of substrate are you using? So I find that pretty interesting because I normally don't get a lot of those questions here, but that's because we all kind of know what we're doing with each other. And so to their surprise, when I start telling them, dude, I'm only using a shop light. It's like the cheapest thing you could buy to be able to grow these plants. I'm using dirted substrate, which is my own kind of, over the years, I've kind of refined what I'm using to where I get it to work for me. Um, I'm not running CO2, that's one thing that always kind of go, what do you mean you're not running CO2? I said, no, I'm just letting it do its thing, giving it time. I'm not accelerating any of the processes. I just have to have patience. And if you have patience, you can pretty much, uh, yeah, from Walmart. I that light under here is exactly one of those grow lights from Walmart. I think I paid $20 for it. Um, the shop lights, I think I got them a couple of, no, it's almost 3 Christmas ago, where I got a whole bunch of them. They were on sale for like $10. So I ended up buying what would have normally cost me one light, one aquarium light. I was able to get one, two, three, four, five, six. Yeah, six lights. Six of the shop lights, just like this one that's right under here that I've been running my aquariums with. And that's from when I first set up my fish room. Now it's gotten to, like, if you look up here, that actually has, that one up there actually has an aquarium light. But that was just because somebody gave me a fish tank with the light on it, and not because I bought it. So I'm using that. Hey, Tabatic, what's up? Jody, thanks for coming in. Aquafunk, thanks for being here. Branton, thanks for coming in, guys. Who else is kind of snuck in here? And so it's been really interesting to be down there. I'm seeing. You know what's so funny is because it's funny to see trends migrate, and what I mean by that, YouTube took a lot of the shorts ideas from what TikTok was doing. But I guess TikTok, even though now it's still really set up for short bursts of information, I find that there is a desire for longer format, which is interesting because that's mostly what I do when I do my videos. I can't keep. I don't think nowadays, where I used to struggle to talk for more than 3 minutes, now my biggest problem is talking less than 3 minutes, especially when I want to talk about a topic. Um, so I thought going in there and doing these videos and doing them in Spanish that I was gonna really have a problem keeping them short, which they're not. They're I think the first video was like 14 minutes. This last one was about the same. Cam, my butt's so funky. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to be able to upload this video. I think I'm going to have to, because I've seen where they do like part one, part two, part three. And I said, if I have to figure that out, I will. But that's not been the issue. Um, I've been telling Funk, and I know Craig will agree with me on this. If Funk were to do the live streams in TikTok the way his personality, it would catch fire because there's a lot of people that are looking for that kind of content down there, and there is the crowd for that. Because Funk, I was telling him that I ran into Craig in TikTok, and he's blowing up. Finally, he's found his community. Not that this wasn't his community, but he's finding newer people every night. I don't know what it is about the algorithm. I don't know if they're a little bit better about pushing it out to more fish people. I'll tell you what, when I scroll through my feed on TikTok, I get a lot more fish related content than anything else. Not that the other content is not over there. It's okay, bro. I'm a long winded too. Roz, you would definitely benefit from having an account in TikTok with your monster fish tanks. There is a huge. I used to think that people were no longer. I mean, Funk and I have had this conversation where I keep telling him, "Oh no, people are no longer into cichlids," and he always gives me pushback. And he does have a point because he goes, if you look at the stores that sell a lot of the cichlids, they're always out of stock. And I was like, but I don't see them on YouTube. Well, it's because they're not on YouTube. They're all on TikTok. You can't turn on a fish channel in TikTok without them having cichlids. They're everywhere down there. Small, big, medium, you name it. Yep, that's right. And which is really interesting because, and I don't know if that's just because I've kind of curtailed my content here where I'm I'm more looking more at planet aquariums. I'm looking more of nano species. Um, I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why I don't see a lot of that the other side of the coin when it comes to fish keeping. It just doesn't come. It doesn't come to me because Funk doesn't get some of the same videos that I do. So yeah, he's controlled chaos. He would. I know for a fact, but um, maybe I can convince him to go. We can do that. Hey, there he is. Well, I was just talking about you, Nick. I was hanging out with him last night, and I don't know if it's not necessarily any different than what happens here. I'll tell you what I don't like about TikTok. I can't drink and I can't smoke on the live stream, and I think that's bullshit. And you have to be careful with what you put on camera because it'll try to flag your content, and it's not for being inappropriate. It's because they have their own brands, I guess, that they sell. Like if I were to have this in my background, or that green bottle back there, or that fish food over there, it would flag it because they don't sell it on their TikTok shop, which is crazy to me. That's the only thing that I don't like about it. But if you're not too concerned about advertising stuff, because I've seen people where they're talking about uh, like just products that they use, and it'll flag their live stream and it restricts it, I think, or something. I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet, and I don't know what it is, but I do know for a fact I can't do this, and I definitely can't have a drink, at least not like a bottle, or I don't know if this would get me restricted or not, but I know this would definitely would. But it is what it is. But it is a the whole other community out there, and there's like different, depending on what you're looking for, because I've also come across other ones where it's like, uh how do I put this nicely without really sounding like an a-hole? um Softer people, I guess, where it's just not for me. I'm not I'm not very soft around the edges, I guess. I'm more abrasive and more willing to really speak my mind. But if you like that kind of community, it's definitely there. But I'll tell you what, I'm not leaving this. This to me is my primary my primary source. Um, but over there, it could be fun if you just treat it as that. If you want to go out there and get buck wild, you can do that. Rob's got his foothold to what? What are you trying to say there, Craig? I don't know. I can't handle all these rules. Yeah, TikTok police might ban me. They could. I don't know. See, I'm still trying to figure out. I know you can speak a little bit more freely, um, because people don't seem to get as offended as easily. I guess is that really what I'm? Um, I don't know. It's weird. Um, so I don't know. I've heard some really wild conversations down there, and but again, it's like everything else. You can choose to be partake or not partake. On TikTok, he was doing well. So what was it that happened to Rob? Why did he get I guess restricted or put on hold or whatever? Yeah, see, that's the whole thing though. I don't want to be off camera. I don't want to have to pull away from the camera to take a puff out of my cigar. Um, I don't know. I just won't do it there. Until it becomes a problem here, I'll just continue to stay here. Is that where I don't know where he went? To be honest, I don't know where he went. Mm, I'll tell you what I haven't noticed. I don't. Maybe it's because I'm not in those circles, but I don't see a lot of people necessarily shitting on other channels. But I could be wrong. Craig might be no better than me because like I said, he was always active on YouTube. I'm assuming he hasn't changed on TikTok. He probably live streams every day. Are you live streaming every day, evening, or whatever time you're going, Craig? Mm, okay. Well, that's new to me. I don't get TikTok. It's just too corny and fake. I guess. Well, if you're watching the main content, I guess yeah, you better not leave us. No, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving for TikTok. I'm not leaving for any of the other platforms. I'll dabble in them and I'll do some stuff. That's just because I have to go on TikTok. Yeah, just give me time. No, I would not leave this, and this is my bread and butter. Um, I've done so much here. I'm not going anywhere, and this has stood the test of time. It's been up and running. 186 is here. Thank you for coming in, 186. Uh, and this has been very kind to me. I mean, I've been able to monetize here. I'm not I'm not quitting my day job for this. It's not like that, but it's enough where it allows me to do some things around the fish room, and 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 I don't think this is going to go away anywhere anytime soon. This platform here is here to stay. Um, I don't foresee it uh, losing to any of the other platforms. But it's one of those things where sometimes a little bit of something different to kind of get you going again is always good, especially if you're kind of feeling like this is getting repetitive. Um, but again, you do have to look for different for the fit or the group of people that you'll find. Honestly, it's been way better for finding different aquarium stuff. YouTube content is dropping the ball as far as Verity or excuse me, at least recommendations are. Um, I do feel that our niche does not get promoted as much. Where I don't, like I said, my feed on where it says like the for you stuff, it's all fish related stuff. But I do see. I always have to put not interested in, but there's a lot of junk out there that I don't want to see. I don't care to see. Um, just not. There's the other thing is that a lot of people get caught up in doing like these trend things. But I don't see that so much in the on the fish community side of it. At least the circle that I'm kind of going around in. I don't see that being so much the case. Um, but yeah, as far as being able to funnel audiences, I don't think you might get one or two, which is fine if you're still a growing channel. I remember when I started out, I kept telling people you the same videos that you put up for shorts on YouTube, might as well drop them on Instagram and TikTok, and you might get one or two subscribers from those platforms, but that's one or two that you didn't have. Like I said, after the first of this year, I will be going AWOL. I'll be back though, or will I? You'll be back, Mike. You got to be back. You cannot not be part of the community. Yeah, there's a lot of smaller accounts. It's like everything. I mean, there's plenty of small accounts here too. You just got to go look for them. Um, but it is. I'm not saying that is leave this and go over there and forget about this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's different. There is a community out there. It's not for everybody. I get that. I totally understand. Shit! I just burned the hell out of my hand. Um, but like I said, I think what it was is because I finally found, not finally found, but I'm kind of doing more of my Spanish stuff on TikTok, and since I'm not really concerned about growing the channel on per se like I was on YouTube, depends on the outcome. Now you're starting to worry me. I'm really starting to think it's something a lot more serious that you're not really saying, Mike. Well, whatever it is, I hope the outcome is positive. Mm, well, you don't. I guess yeah. I guess if you, yeah, I get what you're saying, Nick, because it is a little bit time consuming. The algorithm sucks on YouTube. It's hardly shows me channels I subscribe to. You see, you're not alone, KJ. I hear a lot of people say that. A lot of people complain about Aquafunk. He's subscribed to a lot of people, and he never really gets notifications for when people go live. And he's told me that for a couple of years at least, where he's been telling me that. He goes, dude, I don't even get your notifications, and me and him interact on a regular basis. We do stuff together. Speaking of which, this Friday, Funk and I will be going live, and he's going to be going live from an interesting place. I'll put it, I'll just put it like that, and we'll be tackling the subject. Um, Maybe we'll have some show and tell. We'll see, depending on how things play out. But yeah, this Friday, I think we agreed at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and which would be what 12, 11, 10, no, 9 o'clock my time. Shit, I can't do math. I think it's well either way. It'll be 12 a.m. It's up to anyone. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that. You might be onto something there, Jeff. Which you don't get notifications. What the fuck? That would be for I guess for funk. Um, the other thing that is interesting with and I don't know if that could be good or bad, depending on I guess what you're trying to do. If you try to be inconspicuous, you don't want to go live on TikTok because it'll notify everybody that's subscribed to your account that you're going live, even if it's not on your channel. So it'll tell everybody. You just can't go out and hang out with anybody without everybody finding out that you're going live on somebody else's channel. But that's kind of cool too, though, because let's say I happen to go on with somebody that has a lot of subscribers. Um, that'll get me some exposure to not only their people. If somebody pops up in a live stream that I'm on, it'll notify his audience or their or her audience, and it'll bring them up. Like when we do the live streams, the interviews. I'm gonna burn the hell out of my head. Hold on. It'll send notifications out to both people that are on the live stream. It'll send out notifications to all their subscribers, and I think that's why channels tend to grow a little bit quicker. Like I said, I've been at it here for coming up on 4 years, and I'm just getting a little bit closer to 3,000 subscribers. In TikTok, I think I'm at 3,000 or just under 3,000 in like a month. It is crazy how fast you can grow. Let me see. Uh, oh shit! I'm at 3,611 followers. That's what they call them, followers. Uh, on TikTok, and that's been probably within a month and a half. And that's really like just the last maybe 3 weeks where I've been a lot more active because I've always been posting like videos of my tanks, and that's all I do, like the shorts. That's all I've been doing there. But it hasn't been like maybe about a week and a half that I've been doing a lot more live streams, hopping out on other people's live streams, and they have if they have subscribers, they're not following me. They'll come and follow my channel. It's a little bit different. I'm not only not sub to people that demand me to sub, say hi, but that's just like I said, it's a whole different ball game. But as far as going over there full time, that I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think I would ever do any of this stuff full time. To be honest, that's not a desire of mine. I like doing what I'm doing now. I like not being committed to a time or date. I go when I want to go, and or when I have time. And it's not. I don't ever want to have to depend on whether I go live or not to be able to see if I'm gonna be able to make money to sustain myself. I've been very blessed with an excellent job. I love my job. I let that pay the bills. This I do for fun. Maybe, maybe, and that's a big maybe. If I ever well, no, of course I'm going to retire. But if I make it till retirement, and then once I'm retired, uh, I might want to do this full time. Then I'll do it, but it'll be just because I have the time. That's the only reason, and it won't necessarily be like trying to do it for substance. It'll just be because it'll give me something to do so that I don't fall in that routine of not doing anything and sitting in front of the TV all day. Yeah, that's pretty true, Craig. He does. Like I said, it's just there's so many people coming in and out. Some of them stick around. You're gonna have trolls. I guess you have to have the right personality um, to really thrive um, in those circles. You 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 just got to understand that some people are just going to be assholes no matter what, and you got to realize that and not let it affect you because you will get people that come in, and I see it. It's funny because especially with the people from Mexico, they can be real vicious with each other. I mean, bad. I've seen them where they come in and go, "Hey, your tank is so ugly. You should kill all your fish." That kind of stuff. And and I'm sitting there going, "What the hell?" And then they'll pop off. But again, it's one of those things where most people that I've met down there, um, they just kind of brush it off, or they'll come back with a quick response or something, a quick quip, uh, to kind of put a kibosh to whatever they're saying. But yeah, it's just again, it's easily to just for entertainment. For me, what I'm doing, like I said, I think the main objective for me is I'm going to use it as my platform where I'll post majority Spanish content, and I'll just keep doing my English stuff here. I mean, that's who the majority of my audience is here, anyways. Um, and I'll just take advantage of the fact that I'm starting to get um more of the Spanish speaking community on my account in TikTok, and I'll just do that. I still, like I popped on with Nick and a couple of the guys that he knows. I guess they're his friends. Are they your friends, Nick? Bama and Ben. Um, and if I see somebody that I recognize, I'll definitely hop on. I was watching Craig's live stream the other day, and he must have had like 8 people at once up there, and they were all having a blast. Well, they're not lying, Nick. You're not. You know, you're, I, they're not really lying when they say that. uh, mm, no, I'm just kidding, man. I gotta bust your chops, and I only do it because I know you can handle it. And the minute you tell me, "Hey, dude, that was out of line," I'll stop, and I will respect that. I just met them, but they've been talking to me about high tech stuff. Okay, it seemed like you guys knew each other, and they were kind of your. I thought they were like people you've known from your community, your fish community there in Maryland. That's what it seemed like. But yeah, it. If you're kind of, I would just say check it out just to see if you might find it interesting. You might not. You might not even care for that kind of um, Live streaming is, I think it's kind of fun. I enjoy just kind of hearing people interact and stuff like that. I wouldn't say necessarily that you will learn a lot. I think more educational stuff happens here. Um, Bama Loco to me just started coming to a meeting. Okay, that's what it just seemed like you guys kind of knew each other. That's why I was asking. But over there, I guess it depends on which kind of circle you fall in. You can just have the hangout, which like what Mike does is Mike MNC. He does the hangout. They'll talk about fish periodically, but it's just a hangout. And there's some of that over there too. I don't think I've seen necessarily, at least I haven't found it, but I haven't been looking for it either, is the topic oriented kind of discussions. But I guess Nick, I guess they were having that until I showed up, and then it just got all derailed because I was not even talking about fish the entire night. As a matter of fact, I was bullying Nick, if I'm being honest. But that's just, I have to. It's Nick. uh, but no, but yeah, it's that's kind of what's been going on. It's been interesting. I do need to start picking up where I left off and start doing more of the regular stuff that I was doing, the plug, have my interviews. It's not that I don't have people that I can interview. There's quite a few people that I still need to be interviewed. I just haven't gotten off my ass and got my shit together and coordinated it. So that's something that's on me, not on anybody else. It's not because there isn't a lack of people that want to come on. It's just I just need to get my shit together. If I'm being totally honest, and part of it is because I've been trying to downsize this stuff, and it's been a process. I'm not going to lie to you. Initially, I was just going to only break down the 10-gallon tanks, and that was it. Got down to that point, and then really started reevaluating how many tanks do I really need. Jorge, next Sunday stream is part of the second of the. Oh, okay, that'll be good. That stream was really, really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think for a while there, I thought that in order to be able to grow as a channel, you had to have a lot of tanks, and I fell into that trap. I did, to the point where it was kind of like I was losing interest because I was just doing so much work and not really enjoying my aquariums anymore. And that was kind of taking me away from what I originally had gotten into the hobby was to enjoy them. Granted, I was trying to do some of the breeding projects and stuff like that. I had a little bit of success, but I was also running into the problem of, okay, now I bred this. What do I do with it? How do I offload it? Because that's really another problem is figuring that out. Unless you live in an area where you have access to either fish clubs, swaps, or stores that you can offload product. For me, that was not the case. I did have an association with a fish store, but I would have to drive 3.5 hours all the way up there. And in reality, that didn't even cover the gas money that I would get for the credit on the store. Really, what I was doing is just swapping it out for a different species that I wanted to play with. Well, that was fine with me, though. Don't get me wrong. I was not upset because that was the case. I knew that was going to be the situation, but it served a purpose where it allowed me to offload some stuff, but then I can take stuff from the store without having to pay for it. So, and to me, that kind of was a fair trade-off. But it just got to the point where maybe I was going up every 2 or 3 months, and then it became like every 4 months, then twice a year, and then to the point where it's like, oh man, I don't necessarily want to go up there because it would be a full day venture for me because I wouldn't spend the night over there. It would take me anywhere between 3 to 4 hours to drive up there. Spend some time at the store, try to take advantage of the fact that I was in the area, go film couple, try to create content, whether it was at the same fish store or going to a different fish store. So that's another 3 to 4 hour investment, and then drive back. So it made for an entire day. It could easily turn into a 12-hour day, 14-hour day. And it just got to the point where I didn't want to do that anymore. Hold on. I got to turn off this fan because I'm starting to get cold. Hold on. Yeah, so it just get to the point where I didn't want to be doing that drive, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So that was part in that contributed to me um getting rid of some of the aquariums, because as much as I want to breed, right now is not the right time. I just don't have the time for it. Again, maybe when I retire, that becomes something that, between maybe doing like a daily live stream or whatever, more regular content, um, I'll start breeding some stuff. And then once I retired, I don't care if I drive up that week or not or whatever, because I don't have anything else to do. I don't have to worry about having to go to work the next day or any of that stuff. It's just, it'll be different. But I was getting way ahead of myself. I knew when I started doing it that I really didn't have the time. And once I had it all up and running, I knew that I had made that mistake. I'm about hitting the like button, please. Oh, thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. Mm. Nick does his live over there from his from his bubble bath. Yeah, I don't know. He wasn't in his bubble bath last night. Um, but yeah, it's like everything else. You're gonna. I think when I came on the live stream with Nick last night on with Bama and Ben, they were talking about some of that stuff where, you know I guess TikTok is not exempt from people flaunting their goods to create content or drive audiences. It's the same thing. The same things we see happening here are happening over there. Um, I just don't know why it gets so much more magnified. I guess more people watch TikTok. I don't know. I don't know. And I thought it was just going to be nothing but young people. Like, and not even my kids, because my kids are old now. Like teenage people, and there must be. I just don't see them. I don't navigate in those circles. Most of the people that I interact with are you know older people, I guess. And I didn't think I was going to find um, people my age down there, and there are. There's quite a few of them, and but you know, like I said, I've gone in and out. I've checked it out a couple of times in the early beginnings, and didn't really care for it. Left it alone for I go these long stretches down there where I wouldn't do anything, wouldn't post anything, and then I would come back and maybe I'd find something. Right now, I guess I've kind of like Craig. I found my Spanish speaking community, and right now I've kind of fit in really good with them. Um, I've already gotten like 3 different invitations. I did one last Thursday, I believe. This last Thursday, I was in a live stream with some guys down there from Mexico. I guess they just find my tanks pretty interesting. The fish keeping is a little bit different, I guess. Um, the reason I noticed that there is there's a more diverse community when it comes to the type of fish they keep. Under 16 can't stream. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Have I seen anybody that young? I don't think I've seen anybody now that you mentioned it. Maybe I think there's more kids on YouTube than there probably is on TikTok, at least in my feed. On my feed, I see more kids doing stuff on YouTube than I do on TikTok. But that doesn't mean there isn't, because I know there's this little, he's got to be like 13 or 14-year-old kid from South America that keeps popping up in some of the live streams and always asking the same questions. Yeah, I guess he's hoping to find somebody that'll tell him that he can keep an Oscar in a 20-gallon tank, and he keeps running into the same answer that, you crazy, you can only do it for a little bit, but eventually it's going to outgrow it. But he keeps trying. He wants to keep an Oscar, he wants to keep a flower horn, and I was like, wait, you can't do that. It's gonna, I mean, you could do whatever the hell you want to do, uh but it's just it's not recommended, because if you're asking for advice, that'll be my advice. Don't do it. But that's kind of what's been going on. Today I was kind of starting to do some maintenance on some of these aquariums. uh I'm kind of down to one, two, three, four. I really don't count those two because they're just kind of idling. So I've got four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, nine tanks up and running. That's it, from 30 something that I had. And I'm not really regretting it either. The only thing that I need to figure out is because um I have a bunch of but not a bunch, but I got two tanks with different kinds of limias, and I don't know if I'm going to want to keep both of the strains. Although that has been um oh shit. And I say oh shit because I know I'm gonna butcher your name. Let's see, Asaya. I always get it wrong because I see it and I want to say it in Spanish because I know it's Asia, but we don't pronounce the H in Spanish. So which one is it? And I know you've corrected me. Well, not corrected me, but you've told me a few times. I just uh I think it's Asaya, right? I I I think it's that, but I want to say Asia because that's what it is to me when I read it, because it's in Spanish. But I don't know. Well, thank you for being here either way. I'm sorry. One of these days I'll get it right. I promise. Mm. And nailed it. Okay. Oh, okay. Then I don't feel too bad. I think it's starting to stick. Yeah, it's just yeah. Hopefully I and I feel so bad because I you're very supportive of my channel, and the least I can do is be able to pronounce your name correctly, and that really frustrates me. You just said it right. The that sounded like E. you s- you just said it right. Okay, I sound the eyes like E. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Well, I'm sorry. I need to be better. I need to learn that, and I and I know you've given it to me phonetically, but my brain is Swiss cheese sometimes. It's funny what I'll retain. It's it's sometimes frustrating, the stuff of information that I'll retain and the stuff that I can't. I didn't want to butcher her name either. I know it's because it is embarrassing not being able to pronounce somebody's name. At least I think it's embarrassing to me. Um, and I don't want to do that. Hope you're having a good day. So as far as with the fish rooms going, that's kind of what's happening. I think nine tanks is going to be more than enough. Um, and I'm just rearranging stuff right now. I still have, like I said, four tanks on the wall over here to my right. probably your left if you're seeing it on screen. I don't know. Uh, I know they have a 33 gallon cube, the 75 gallon, and 255s. The 33 gallon cube, like I said, I want to build that stand that goes in here. I know it's weird how the camera makes it look like it's real narrow, but I have like 24 inches of space in here, and that tank's only 22. So I can make a stand in here, and I'm going to put under it. Right now, I have a 10 gallon tank um, that I'm kind of work to put under there, and I definitely want to get that shallow. I think it's like a 8 gallon tank. Um, I have to look it up again, but it's either UNS makes it or I'm not buying ADA. That's way too expensive. Unless ADA wants to sponsor me that aquarium, which is not going to happen, I'm not paying like $100 and some for a 10 gallon tank. That's just not going to happen. I'll build it before I buy it. Shit, I've been talking way too much and not puffing on my cigar. So that's what's going on with there. And now with really what I'm trying to do is just kind of set up display tanks like this. And I'm finding out, and I was telling Funk about this. It's interesting because I thought doing this would not keep me busy, but I'm finding out that now that I have all this extra time, I spend more time, touching these aquariums up and doing all these little things that before, I guess, just because I just ran out of time, I would just do water changes and let him do his own thing. And now that hey June, thanks for coming in. Even June's on TikTok. I see her over there once in a while. I hope I didn't outed you. Maybe I shouldn't have said nothing. Sorry, June. Maybe you didn't want that out there. But yeah, I just find myself being just as busy with doing the maintenance, the water changes. You know what? I do find myself doing more water changes than I usually do. Yeah, your tanks actually look really nice for once. And that's just because I have a little bit more time. And because I don't have anything else to focus on, I focus on these things. Maybe a little bit too much sometimes. Maybe I need to chill out and just let them do their own thing. No, not never. I could have sworn you were down there. Unless somebody else has the same name you do. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on and what I've kind of been doing. But no, as far as I'm not going down there permanently or full time. I just kind of like hanging out there for a little bit, just kind of take a little bit of a break and then come back to doing this. It's a different environment. It's a whole, must have been an accidental touch. It's a whole for me it's a whole different vibe again, because I find myself doing more of my Spanish content, doing the so if you ever see me in TikTok, don't be surprised I'm out there chatting it up in Spanish. The videos I'm gradually gravitating to putting most of the videos that I do down there are in Spanish, just because I really want to cater that channel to that. I mean, I'll still post stuff in English, but it'll be the opposite of this channel, where once in a great while I'll put something here on Spanish. Over there it'll be the opposite, mostly Spanish, some English. I will hop on people's live streams, and if it's an English speaking live stream, then I'll do that. I'm very fortunate that I can do it in both languages. Well, the problem, and I wasn't even following you, so it wasn't a notification. I just happened to be seeing who was on, and I saw your little avatar or icon, and I said, "Is this really Nick?" Yeah, I know you do. You June, you have always supported everything that I've ever done, no matter what it is, whether it's in English or in Spanish. You have always been a very, very big supporter of mine, and I do appreciate that. Um, so, and I know that the June wasn't the only one. I would constantly see when I was doing the interviews in Spanish too. There was a lot of you guys that would just kind of just out of support. You might not have understood anything that was being said, but you guys would be there, and I really can appreciate that. I just don't have the words to really, other than say thank you. Um, hey, what's up, Joe? Um, and so that's one thing that I've been very fortunate is that you guys have always, no matter what it is that I do or what language I'm doing it in, you guys have always supported what I've done, and I do appreciate that. Um, mm, but as far as what I want to continue to do here, I don't foresee in the near future changing any of the stuff that I'm doing. I definitely want to continue doing the interviews. I'd be here more if you were my cowboy hat. The only problem with my cowboy hat is I need to find a good set of earbuds because I got to put on the headphones to be able to hear. Right now, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal because I'm not carrying a conversation with somebody. When will you and Funk doing a stream? Friday. Friday, we're going to be live streaming, um, 12 o'clock Eastern Eastern Standard Time, and 12 p.m. What is that? 9 o'clock my time? 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 9 o'clock my time. No, that's not true. It's 10 o'clock my time because we had that stupid time change, and we kind of everybody moves except for us. So now it's only 2 hour difference. So it's 10 o'clock um, my time, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock Central Time, 12 o'clock Eastern Time. Wow, so many time zones. But yeah, that's kind of ruins the luck. Yeah, the headphones. Um, but yeah, that will be going on. I'll probably be doing the thumbnail for that later this afternoon and posting it. Is there a topic no? I think we wanted to. Funk says that he really wants to talk about angelfish and breeding and how it's bullshit that they're really easy to do. So it'll be some of that stuff. That's kind of going to be the topic. Hmm. Yeah, it's just and anything I guess pertaining to angelfish. Funk is bred them for several years. I went at it for a little while, and I was struggling. I couldn't get those things to be. I mean, the breeding part was easy. They were doing it on their own. I was having a hard time getting them past um, free swimming from wigglers. Well, wigglers they have the sack and they would be okay. But once they became free swimming, I was having a hard time growing them out from there. I kept losing them until finally figured out which food would allow me to do that. Well, we definitely need to do that, Nick. Um, but we'd have to find a time where see this. I'm going into tomorrow. I'll be going into the 2 to 10 schedule for me. So it swings. I'll be working 2 in the afternoon and 10 o'clock at night. So that only really frees me up in the morning to be able to do live streams. And usually, what I end up doing during this period of time is where I'll do the plug because, um, instead of just doing a video, I'll do the live stream because I get to interact with some of you guys. But then it'll be out there, and usually I don't have a guest, so I don't really have to starting with angels, and then we'll see where it goes. Yeah, that's the whole thing with me and Funk and the live streams. We start off with with one one topic, and then it just then it we never know where it's gonna go. To be honest, if I'm being honest, uh, so we'll see. But that's kind of the goal. We'll talk about angelfish, and we'll see where we end up. Um, so yeah, so for the next 7 days, I'll be working 2 to 10, and then from there I rotate into the morning schedule, which that's a little bit more convenient for doing like the live stream that you want to do, where with guests and stuff like that, because most people are free in the afternoons or in the evenings, and that kind of works out good because I work from 6 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, and it gives me the rest of the afternoon and evening to be able to schedule a live stream. So that's why, if you kind of notice, unless my guest is outside the United States, where um, we're like on the opposite time spectrum, that's when you'll see the live streams with guests on in the mornings. Toby, knock it off. What are you doing? Don't do that. Go lay down. Go to your bed. Thank you. Yeah, so that's when I'll be able to. That's normally when I'll do like a morning live stream. Like if I'm interviewing somebody from, um, Europe, the UK, or anywhere else where the time difference is like 12-hour difference. Those are the only times where I'll schedule them during the time where I'm available in the mornings. But going to doing that 2 to 10, that allows me the afternoons. And when I do graveyards, because that'll be the next after mornings, I go to graveyards. I don't go into work till 10 o'clock at night, so I basically have from the time I get up till 9 o'clock at night, my time, to be able to live stream. So that's usually when I'll schedule interviews and stuff like that, because that's when people are available. My time with Fish Fam is valuable than anything I get answers from Facebook, TikTok, etc. Yeah, I don't know. I've been asked a few couple of things on TikTok, but for the most part, um, there's not a lot of questions. I do find that there's a lot more beginner questions that are being asked during the live streams. Um, but this is on the Spanish side. I don't know on the English speaking side if that's the same case, because I haven't really done a whole lot of stuff um in English as far as live streaming. But when I've been as a guest, or the couple of times that I've done something on my own, I do find there is a lot more beginner questions. With me, it seems to be the biggest question is whether I run CO2, what kind of lights I'm using, and the substrate. Those three questions are predominantly the questions that people ask, and I think 'cause they're just kind of intrigued. Hey, flower horn swims, flowers, flowers with horns. Man, I'm terrible at reading names. Thanks for being here. And then what is it, Marshall? Thanks for joining in. I'm getting to the point where I'm probably going to wrap this up. Uh, Technically, I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes. For those of you that missed the beginning of this, it was like 2:30. I said I'm going to go live. Got on, jumped on, started the live, went at it for about 30 minutes, and then I was going, that's kind of weird. I mean, I usually don't get a lot of viewers anyways, but no views at all. And I was going, what the hell's going on? Is there somebody? There's got to be somebody bigger going on doing a live stream. So I went and checked on my phone. Nothing. I couldn't even find my own live stream. So I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I realized I didn't schedule this live stream, and because I didn't schedule it, I didn't toggle the option that gives you to which channel you want to stream to. So I basically was just streaming to Restream. And I did that for about a half an hour until I finally figured it out. And I was like, you idiot. So I had to restart. But, I scheduled it for 3 o'clock just so that I can start at a certain time, I guess. But when I got off, it was already like, what was it, like almost 2:45 or something like that. I started before 2:30 though. I think I started like at 2:15. Yep, I was talking to myself for about 30 minutes. I was having a full-blown conversation with me, and there was no voices in my head either, which made it more interesting. Well, new battery backup stuff arrived for the fish room house stuff. Just noticed you were on. Oh, well, thank you for coming on. Um, I don't know, unless there's anything else you guys want to know. I think I'm pretty much brought you guys up to speed as to what's going on. So unless somebody wants to come up here and just hang out. Oh wait, who's this? Is this VA? Is this Melvin? Did you change your name again? Yeah, it is Melvin. Okay. I was gonna say I didn't recognize I guess the VA, I should have recognized that. How you doing, Melvin? I hope you're doing good. I was gonna say I don't know if I haven't seen you in a while, but I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that because you're always changing your thing. Let me see. I'll drop this right here. If anybody's interested, they can kind of come up and hang out if you want. Give it a couple of minutes. If nobody wants to come up, then I'll just go ahead and we'll end it here, and I'll see you guys on Friday, and see what happens. See which directions we go, and see what we end up talking about. It'll be about angelfish, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it takes us. Hey, something fishy. How's it going? Is this you, Zach? Or yeah, it is. How you been? Did you get to go to Aquashella down there in LA this year? I was scheduled to go, but I ended up missing it because we had we had a family thing, so it was kind of like, well, I guess those things are always last minute. Mm. Well, congratulations on that, Melvin. I'm happy to hear that. All right. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a day for today. I'll go ahead and finish up creating that thumbnail for the live stream on Friday, and we'll see you guys there. Again, it's gonna be what the hell? Lights were about to go off. That was interesting. Nope. Somehow life got in. Yeah, same here. I was all set to go and everything. I even had to cancel my Airbnb at the last minute. But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me for the last hour, and I promise you, I'll start being a little bit more productive and going back to doing the plugs and start scheduling some more interviews, so you guys get to meet some new people. So, with that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I think there's a couple other people that might be going live relatively quick, and maybe I'll see you guys there. You guys take care,